Hi everyone, this is Michelle with Star One Realty Group, and I'm continuing my series called So You Want to Sell Your House. So congratulations, your house is under contract. Or maybe you just want to know what happens when your house is under contract and what the inspection is. So how to prepare for an inspection? You can, but the thing is the guy's going to come out or girl's going to come out, and they're going to be at your house probably 2 hours. They could, if you have a big house or it's pretty complicated, they might be there for 4 hours. And yes, they're going to crawl on the roof. They're going to look underneath the roof, and they're looking for leaks on it. Some of those electric boxes that are 30 years or older are going to be flagged because they're not going to be able to get insurance. And one of them is the Federal Pacific, and the other one is the Zenco Sylvania. Those have been determined by the powers that be that they are no longer as effective. Remember back in the day when we used to have the fuse boxes? In fact, some of us still call our electric box the fuse box. But remember when you had to screw them in, and those were your fuses? And then they moved to the breakers. Well, the next thing after the fuses came the Federal Pacific and the Zenco Sylvania. Well, now, you know, we're 30 years later and technology is more advanced, and now we're moving to an electric panel that is safer, okay? Also, they're gonna look at your plumbing. If you wanna, you know, you might say, okay, my plumbing's fine, everything's working. If you wanna put your mind at ease, you know, go around, turn on the sinks, wait a few minutes, see if there's any leaks coming out of your pipes. Make sure when you turn on the hot water comes on and the cold water comes on. Sometimes, you know, they're flipped. And which you probably already know that, but maybe over the years you haven't even thought about it. So that might come up. There are a couple pipings that they used several years ago that they find are not effective. And you probably don't know this because, you know, it's been fine for you, but now the insurance companies are involved and the mortgage companies are involved, and so that might have to be looked at as well. And so to wrap up this, I will tell you about what is called a 4-point inspection certificate. Now, the mortgage company and the insurance company are going to require this because they need to know that your house is a good investment and that it can be insured. All right? There are four things that they look at on this 4-point inspection. The first one is the roof, which I went over that. The next thing is the plumbing. The next thing is the electric. They make sure that the box is not a Federal Pacific or a Zenco Sylvania. They also make sure that you have the proper type of wiring. They make sure that you don't have something called a double lug, meaning where 2 wires are going on to one breaker. The last thing that is inspected by the inspector is very important, especially in Florida, because it is the hardest working machine in the house, and that's the air conditioner, and that's because it's hot here. So if before the inspector comes, you definitely want to make sure that on the intake you don't have any furniture in front of it. It's, you know, the air can get through. That you have a brand new filter. And if you have a filter in the garage or where your condenser is, you need to make sure you change that one as well. Because right there, that, you know, could be the difference between having a good inspection or not a good inspection. How they check the air conditioners, they check the unit outside, they check the unit inside, then they go to your thermostat and they measure the air coming out of the vent to the thermostat, and it has to be in a range. So you need to make sure that, you know, the only thing that you can do to prevent, you know, having, you know, something as silly as a differential is make sure that those air conditioner filters are clean. A few other items that might come up on your home inspection that the buyer will need to have addressed in order to get their loan is wood rot. Wood rot is usually found on your exterior doors, and it's where water has been beating down and the wood starts to deteriorate. You've probably seen it. I know when we sold our house, you know, there were things that we always wanted to do, but we didn't do, but then we had to do. and that tends to be one of those things. So if there's any wood rot, that might be something that needs to be fixed. Something else that might come up on the report is that you don't have screens on your windows. Certain loans require screening on the windows. Also, you might have your windows screwed shut. That's a fire safety, that's gonna come up. So if, that might be something that comes up on the home inspection. Or a broken window. But what I have found over the last 19 years is that all things can be fixed. Not everything is expensive to fix. It's more of a hassle than anything. And a good handyman or maintenance, property maintenance person can come out and fix these items, and then your house can be sold. So don't be nervous about the home inspection unless there's items that aren't working. But just be aware that we are dealing with banks and we're dealing with insurance companies. This is Michelle Rain with Star One Realty Group, and this concludes my show on inspections. The next one up is walkthrough.